In this video, I'll walk you through every single essential item that needs to be in your tackle box. Not the fancy stuff that looks cool in the store, but the real essentials that separate successful anglers from those who go home empty-handed. By the end of this breakdown, you'll have a complete roadmap for building a tackle box that's ready for anything the water throws at you. Let's start with the foundation of everything you do on the water. Hooks. Hooks are literally the connection between you and every fish you'll ever catch. Without the right hooks in your box, nothing else matters. You need variety here because different fish require different approaches. Circle hooks are your bread and butter for live bait fishing. They're designed to hook fish in the corner of the mouth, which reduces deep hooking and makes catch and release much more effective. But you can't stop there. J-hooks give you more versatility for different presentations, and they're essential when you're working with artificial lures. Aberdeen hooks are perfect for smaller fish because they have a thin wire that won't damage delicate mouths. And here's something most people overlook. You need multiple sizes of each type. A size 1 circle hook might be perfect for bass, but it's completely wrong for panfish or catfish. The key is having sizes ranging from 8 all the way up to 2.0 or 3.0. This gives you the flexibility to target everything from bluegill to largemouth bass without compromising your effectiveness. Stock at least a dozen of each size you carry because hooks get lost, bent, or dulled throughout the day. Now let's talk about what gets your bait down to where the fish are. Sinkers. Sinkers control your bait's depth and presentation, and having the wrong weight can make the difference between a productive day and going home skunked. Split-shot sinkers are absolutely essential because they're adjustable. You can add or remove them based on current conditions, water depth, and how the fish are responding. They pinch right onto your line, making them perfect for fine-tuning your presentation. Egg sinkers are game changers for bottom fishing. They slide freely on your line, allowing fish to take your bait without feeling the weight. This is crucial when you're dealing with finicky fish that might drop your bait at the first sign of resistance. Bank sinkers are your go-to for holding bottom in current or when you need your bait to stay in one specific spot. You'll want weights ranging from 1/8 ounce up to at least 1 ounce. Lighter weights work perfect for shallow water or when fish are spooky. Heavier weights cut through current and get your bait down fast in deeper water. The variety gives you options no matter what conditions you face. This brings us to a small but crucial component that most beginners overlook: swivels. Swivels prevent line twist, and line twist will ruin your day faster than almost anything else. When your line gets twisted, it becomes weak, tangles constantly, and creates unnatural bait presentation that spooks fish. Barrel swivels are the standard choice because they're simple, reliable, and affordable. They create a connection point that allows your line and leader to rotate independently. Three-way swivels open up different rigging possibilities, especially when you're fishing with multiple hooks or want to separate your sinker from your bait. The key with swivels is matching their strength to your line. There's no point using a 50-pound swivel with 12-pound line, and you definitely don't want a weak swivel failing when you hook into a big fish. Speaking of presentation, let's talk about controlling your bait's position in the water column. Bobbers. Bobbers serve as your eyes underwater, telling you exactly what's happening with your bait. Fixed bobbers attach directly to your line and work great when you know the exact depth you want to fish. They're simple, reliable, and perfect for consistent presentations. Slip bobbers take things to the next level. They slide freely on your line until they hit a stop, allowing you to fish any depth while still being able to reel your line all the way in. This is huge when you're fishing the deeper water or when you need to adjust your depth quickly based on where fish are holding. The size of your bobber matters more than most people realize. A bobber that's too big will spook fish and make it harder for them to take your bait. One that's too small won't support your bait properly or give you clear bite indication. Match your bobber size to your bait weight and fishing conditions. Now here's something that seems obvious, but trips up way too many anglers. Extra fishing line. Your main line is going to break, get damaged, or need replacement during your fishing trip. That's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Having backup spools means the difference between continuing to fish and calling it a day early. You should carry the same pound test as your main line, plus lighter and heavier options for different situations. Lighter line is less visible to fish and allows for more natural bait presentation, but it's more likely to break on big fish or around structure. Heavier line gives you confidence when fishing around cover, but it might reduce your bite rate in clear water or with pressured fish. Having options lets you adapt to whatever the conditions demand. Which brings us to the tool that makes line management possible: line clippers. Sharp, reliable clippers are non-negotiable. Trying to bite through fishing line or using dull tools creates weak points that will fail when you least want them to. Good clippers give you clean cuts that won't compromise your knots or create line damage. Look for clippers with a small size that won't take up much room in your tackle box, but make sure they're substantial enough to cut through heavy line when needed. Some clippers include additional features like split ring tools or knot tying aids, which can be handy but aren't essential. But clippers alone aren't enough for complete line management. You need pliers. Pliers are your multi-tool on the water. They remove hooks from fish, crimp sinkers, bend wire, and handle a dozen other tasks that come up during a fishing trip. Needle nose pliers with a good grip are essential for getting hooks out of fish mouths safely and efficiently. The cutting edge on quality, pliers lets you cut line, trim leaders, and even cut through small hooks if needed. Corrosion resistance is crucial because pliers get wet constantly and will rust quickly if they're not designed for fishing use. Look for pliers with comfortable grips because you'll be using them throughout the day. This leads us to the part of your tackle box that actually catches the fish. Soft plastic baits. Soft plastics are arguably the most versatile lures you can carry. They imitate everything from worms to crawfish to baitfish, and they work in virtually any water condition. Plastic worms are your foundation here. They work year-round, in any depth, and fish just can't seem to resist that natural feel when they bite down. But don't stop at basic worms. Creature baits with appendages that create movement and vibration can trigger strikes when nothing else works. Swim baits mimic injured baitfish perfectly, and they're deadly when fish are feeding aggressively. Crawfish imitations work magic around rocky structure where real crawfish live. The beauty of soft plastics is their durability. Unlike live bait, they don't die, don't need special storage, and one lure can catch multiple fish. Keep a variety of colors because water clarity and light conditions change throughout the day. Natural colors like green pumpkin and watermelon work in clear water, while brighter colors like chartreuse and white show up better in murky conditions. Now let's talk about lures that cover water fast and trigger reaction strikes. Hard baits. Crankbaits are fish-catching machines because they dive to specific depths and create vibrations that fish can feel from a distance. Shallow runners work the top few feet of water where bass often feed, while deep divers get down to fish holding in deeper structure. The key is having different depths covered so you can target fish wherever they're positioned. Lipless crankbaits like rattling lures are perfect for covering large areas quickly. They sink, so you control the depth by how long you let them fall, and their tight wobbling action triggers aggressive strikes. These are go-to lures when you need to locate active fish fast. Jerkbaits excel in cooler water when fish are less active. Their erratic stop-and-go action mimics dying or injured baitfish, which is irresistible to predatory fish. The pause between jerks is often when fish strike, so don't rush the retrieve. But sometimes you need flash and vibration to call fish from a distance. Spinnerbaits. Spinnerbaits are unique because they work in conditions where other lures fail. The spinning blade creates flash and vibration that fish can detect even in muddy water or low light conditions. They're also relatively weedless, so you can fish them around cover where fish like to hide. Single blade spinnerbaits produce more thump and work better in cooler water or when fish are less active. Double blade versions create more flash and work great when fish are feeding aggressively. Colorado blades give maximum vibration while willow leaf blades produce more flash and work better for mimicking baitfish. The versatility of spinnerbaits is incredible. You can slow roll them along the bottom, burn them just under the surface, or work them at any depth in between. Having a few different weights lets you adjust to different fishing situations throughout the day. This brings us to one of the most effective fish-catching combinations you can use: jig heads. Jig heads paired with soft plastics create presentations that are hard for fish to refuse. The weight gets your bait down quickly, and the hook orientation gives you solid hook sets. Round head jigs work for most situations, while football heads are perfect for dragging along rocky bottoms without getting snagged. Different weights handle different situations. Lighter jigs work in shallow water or when fish are finicky. Heavier jigs cut through current, get to deeper fish faster, and work better in windy conditions. Having a range from 1/8 ounce to 1/2 ounce covers most fishing scenarios you'll encounter. The hook size on your jig heads matters too. Smaller hooks work better with finesse presentations, while larger hooks handle bigger soft plastics and provide better hook sets on larger fish. But sometimes fish are looking up instead of down, and that's where surface lures shine. Topwater lures. Nothing beats the excitement of a fish exploding on a topwater lure. These lures work best in low-light conditions, like early morning and late evening when fish move shallow to feed. Popper lures create commotion that calls fish from a distance, while walk-the-dog lures like Zara spooks create a side-to-side action that drives fish crazy. Buzzbaits keep moving across the surface, creating a wake and noise that triggers reaction strikes. They work great in slightly deeper water, where fish might not come up for stationary lures. Frogs are perfect for fishing heavy cover where other lures would get snagged constantly. The key with topwater fishing is patience. When a fish blows up on your lure, resist the urge to set the hook immediately. Wait until you feel the weight of the fish before setting the hook, or you'll pull the lure away from them. Speaking of hooks, let's talk about upgrading your lure effectiveness. Treble hooks. Many hard baits come with cheap treble hooks that bend, dull, or break when you hook into a good fish. Upgrading to quality treble hooks dramatically improves your hookup ratio and reduces the number of fish you lose during the fight. Sharp hooks penetrate better with less pressure, which means more solid hook sets. They also stay sharp longer, maintaining their effectiveness throughout long fishing sessions. Different treble hook styles work better for different lures, so having a variety ensures you can optimize any lure in your box. But treble hooks aren't always the answer, especially when you need finesse. Leader line. Leader line serves multiple purposes in your tackle box. It provides a buffer between your main line and lures, reducing visibility to fish while maintaining strength. Fluorocarbon leaders are nearly invisible underwater, making them perfect for clear water or pressured fish situations. Wire leaders become essential when targeting fish with sharp teeth like pike or muskie. Regular line gets cut instantly by these species, but wire leaders prevent cutoffs while still allowing lure action. The key is using the lightest leader that still provides the protection you need. Different leader lengths work for different situations. Short leaders maintain lure action better, while longer leaders provide more separation between your main line and lure. Having pre-tied leaders in different lengths saves time on the water and keeps you fishing instead of tying knots. This brings us to hardware that makes lure changes quick and easy. Snap swivels. Snap swivels combine the line twist prevention of regular swivels with the quick change convenience of snaps. This lets you change lures rapidly without retying knots, which is huge when you're trying to figure out what fish want or when conditions change quickly. The snap portion needs to be strong enough to handle the fish you're targeting, but small enough that it doesn't interfere with lure action. Quality snap swivels close securely and won't open accidentally during the fight with a fish. But sometimes you need weight without the bulk of traditional sinkers. Weights. Drop shot weights are perfect for finesse fishing because they keep your bait off the bottom while maintaining contact with structure. Tungsten weights are smaller than lead weights of the same mass, creating more compact presentations that feel more natural to fish. Punch weights are specifically designed for penetrating heavy cover. Their bullet shape and added weight help your bait get through vegetation where big fish like to hide. Having various weights lets you adjust to different cover thickness and fishing conditions. All this gear needs to be maintained and managed properly, which brings us to essential tools. A good knife. A sharp knife handles fish cleaning, line cutting, and dozens of other tasks that come up during fishing trips. The blade needs to hold an edge because dull knives are dangerous and ineffective. Corrosion resistance is crucial since knives get wet and dirty constantly. Look for a knife with a secure grip that won't slip in wet hands. A partially serrated edge can be helpful for cutting through tough materials, while a straight edge works better for precise cuts and fish cleaning. But catching fish means nothing if you don't know how big they are. A scale. Digital scales give you accurate weights for documenting your catches, especially important if you're fishing tournaments or keeping track of personal bests. They're also essential if you're keeping fish and need to stay within legal limits. Compact scales don't take up much room in your tackle box, but they provide valuable information about your fishing success. Some scales include measuring functions, giving you both length and weight data for your catches. Speaking of measurements, you need a measuring tape. Measuring tapes ensure you're following length regulations and help you document your catches accurately. Many species have minimum length requirements, and guessing can lead to costly violations. A waterproof measuring tape handles the wet conditions of fishing without degrading. Some measuring devices include weight estimation charts based on length, giving you backup data if your scale malfunctions. The key is having a measuring system that's quick to use and provides accurate results. Finally, all these essentials need proper organization. Tackle trays. Quality tackle trays keep your gear organized and easily accessible. Compartments should be sized appropriately for the items you're storing, and they need secure closures that won't pop open when you're moving around. Clear lids let you see contents without opening every tray. Waterproof trays protect your gear from moisture and corrosion. Adjustable dividers let you customize compartment sizes based on your specific needs. Having multiple smaller trays often works better than one large tray, because you can organize by lure type or fishing technique. The right tackle box setup makes every fishing trip more productive and enjoyable. When you have the essentials properly organized and easily accessible, you spend more time fishing and less time searching for gear. These items aren't just suggestions, they're the foundation that successful anglers build on. Stock your tackle box with these essentials. Keep them maintained and organized, and you'll be ready for whatever the fish throw at you.